fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. Joseph Campbell. Now, all of us know this in the creative arts. Out there in the darkness is something that we long for, a treasure that we seek, something unformulated inside us that we know that we have some type of capacity to make, create, formulate, get to. And it gets our lifeblood up and it gets us excited, it gets us motivated, and everything in us. It's like we're gonna go after this. And yet, there's a gap. We procrastinate. We wonder, we doubt, we fear, and then we cause ourselves to get these cycles of inaction. So you have the treasure, you have the cave, you know that there's a dragon inside the cave, and then there's where you are now. Let's talk about it. So something that Campbell writes is that you can find guidance or instructions from others, but you must find your own path. This is the thing, when you're going into the cave, yes, you can take inspiration from others, yes, you can take guidance, but at the last, when you go in there, it is your journey, it is your path, and every single human life is unique. So as you go into that cave, it's okay that you can't figure it out all at once. It's okay if you're having a bad day, or even if you don't make any particular process. Sometimes the process is defined by the act of going into the cave itself. So for instance, I'm always greedy to try and write a song when I go into the studio, but that's not the only thing that I'm doing. It might be practicing, it might be a certain contemplation, it might be a breakthrough, or actually speaking to that dragon in the cave that Campbell talks of as you seek the treasure. Sometimes it's that negotiation with what you find in there that is the very thing that you need. And by having that conversation, you set yourself up for the potential breakthrough the next time you go into the cave. So sometimes whatever you find at this particular point in the cave, you can't believe it's total truth, because it's actually the beginning. It's like the signature that you're moving through another threshold and into the next point, and that's when the song comes.
Okay guys, I think I got one. Got a riff, it's quite cool, you can hear it. I've got another lick, but I'm not sure about it. So something like that.
So the reason that I'm thinking about the cave and the treasure at this point is because I feel like I'm in the heart of this battle. And the frustration I've got with myself at the moment is I was in the cave and I was wrestling and I was after the treasure and I was really seeking it. And then the summer came and I got very busy with my work. I was lucky enough to have a brief holiday. And since I've come back, I just haven't been able to quite get into the zone. I haven't feel like I've been going after it with my whole heart. And one of the things that I realized was that this room here, despite the fact that I love it, it also represents the cave for me, because when I come in here, all my emotions come with me. Who I am comes with me, and who I am not comes with me as well. And when you're trying to create something, you're very often trying to bridge the gap between that which you are and that which you are not. And that which you are not is what you're trying to become. You're trying to grow, you're trying to move towards something. But as a result of that, you have to go into that abstraction and find out, what are your new ideas? What are you opening yourself up to? The place that you were before is fixed and it's already been done, and it carries all of your history and all the places that you've already been, all your fixity. And the nature of going after a creative project is that you're becoming new. So when you think of that treasure, of course you're going to be afraid of it, because you have never been the person to get that particular treasure before. So when I come to this room at the moment, I'm trying to create my album, and I've given myself a year long and I'm doing pretty well. Lots of ups and downs I've been sharing along the way, but the resistance is because I have to meet myself in a new way.
I'm going to abort tonight. I've just got so much in my mind. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to carry on rock and rolling and working out these thoughts. Tonight it is Joshua against Daniel Dubois. I'm a huge heavyweight boxing fan, so I've got to get out of here. Good night, little room, little cave. And I'm really hoping I'm going to catch the start of it. So let's go. I'll see you in the morning. Good night, Mahala. Beautiful place. Okay, guys, got to get out of here. Oh, I feel really good to have gotten in, got over the procrastination of recent. Talking of caves and the treasure you see, I mean, it's so archetypally expressed in boxing because a boxer only fights twice a year, these days at maximum. And the thing is each time the boxer is going into his cave and he has this one mission. And yes, he might have his trainer, he might have his sparring partners, but he's got to do that work alone. So tonight at Wembley, Daniel Dubois, the current champion, taking on AJ. It is going to be absolutely wild. I'm really excited. Against all predictions, I am thinking that Daniel Dubois is going to knock AJ out in 4. So that's very controversial, but we think it's going to happen. And either way, amazing night with these gladiators going head to head. Let's see what happens.
This is the best Anthony Joshua.
Joshua down already in the first round. It is absolute carnage. Oh, come on! Unbelievable, powerful. Oh, what a brutal, terrible sport. Against all the predictions, I always thought Dubois was going to go it. He is just all over him. This is hardcore. So a couple of years ago, he was in a fight against an older, more experienced boxer called the Juggernaut, Joe Joyce. And he got pretty badly beaten up. And Daniel Dubois got labelled a quitter by the boxing fraternity. He was written off by everyone. No one was backing him. And he had gone and he'd reformulated, he'd come back and he'd had another loss. There was just something about this guy. I just felt this guy was going to claw his way out of the cave. Because this is the thing, nothing teaches you like the cave you enter. He had to confront every single demon, every doubt, all the rest of the world, saying that he was a failure, that he had no heart, that he was a quitter. And he came back and he put leather onto Anthony Joshua like I'd never seen in a heavyweight title fight. It was really something extraordinary. So remember, the cave has a role, but not just the cave. It's the voices you have to confront within the cave that make you into the potential truest version that you can become. And that is why I'm going back into my cave.
Of the adventure is often
to the right.
The herald or announcer of the adventure.
This train terminates there.
The herald or announcer of the adventure is often dark, loathly, or terrifying, judged evil by the world. Yet if one could follow, the way would be open through the walls of day into the dark where the jewels glow.
So it's a beautiful, bright Sunday morning here in Berlin, and I'm getting back into the studio after last night, just getting back into the rhythm, getting into the feeling. It's not always about specifically making progress. So often we just have to move, get back into the rhythm, get back into the groove, put ourselves back into the cave and allow the process to start happening again.
So he's talking here about the call, the hero's call. The call is to leave a certain social situation, move into your own loneliness, and find the jewel, the center that's impossible to find when you're socially engaged. You are thrown off center, and when you feel off center, it's time to go. This is the departure, when the hero feels something has been lost and goes to find it. You are to cross the threshold into new life. It's a dangerous adventure because you are moving out of the sphere of the knowledge of you and your community. Campbell goes on to write, what is it that each of us is searching for? And it is the fulfillment of that which is potential in each of us, and to give it back to the world. The idea being that if you go into that cave and cannot take the instruction, the full guidance, because your life is unique in its own way, even if it is expressive of a greater consciousness, but your particular viewpoint of the phenomena of things and how you see things, the fulfillment of that potential, that gift, is something you have to go in and realize, discover, manifest in whatever it is that you create, and then give it back to the world. That's the fulfillment, that's the potential. And this is the thing, that which you create is not yours alone. In fact, at the point of creation, that is the moment when it starts transforming from where it has been out in the abstract and into wherever it's trying to go. Because I think a song or an artwork or anything we're trying to create is not ours alone. Once you get to it, it is then your job to take it out into the world. You know, what is its purpose when you write a song or you write that novel? And it's so easy for these things that we create to get made and then become hoarded, whether it's all those songs on the iPhone. I've certainly been guilty of this at different times in my life, but it's part of your journey, not just to fulfill the promise that is within you, but also then to go out into the world and to give it back. And to give it back, you have to risk what the world will think of it, because the likelihood is that it will not be for most people. And thank God for that, because what you're trying to do is you're not trying to reach every single person. You're trying to reach the person that might most need to hear it. Can you help that person? Can you change their life? Can you be the guide or the instructor in their moment of lostness that helps them realize their own potential, and then the journey begins again? When you think about Campbell's visualization of the treasure and the cave and the dragon and where you are now, for me it helps to think about it in this type of way. I think of the cave as being the space where you enter to do battle. And so it could be the physical space like this, wherever it may be. If you're working from home, maybe it's your home office and it's really hard to have a good association there. Or for me, for like years as a songwriter, I was in my bedroom and it'd be like, oh, you'd always be wrestling with it. So the cave is the physical space. And the treasure is what you're trying to create, that thing that is out there in the dark. And of course, the dragon is represented, I see, not as something on the outside. Yes, you can look at the obstacles, the hurdles, they are of course the dragon, but it's also the inner dialogue. How you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, and especially you have to think about these cycles of negativity and finding ways to slay those cycles of negativity. And you must be proactive. It's nowadays, because our consciousness is so fragmented and because we're distracted by so many different things, and we're always context shifting between this and that, very hard to get into a flow. You need to work at it. You need to be conscious that the dragon that is coming after you is inside you, but you can challenge that dragon. There are only certain points in the day where that potential flow is going to come to you. So if you're always dividing it up and breaking it up and allowing these dragons to come in, then you start feeling like you're in this loop of negativity, of never feeling that you're quite getting after it or that you're achieving something or moving the needle forward. So name the dragons that are obstructing you. Listen to your own mind. What's it saying? How is it saying? Are these limiting beliefs really something coming from you? Why are you putting all of these things upon yourself? And to be the hero of your journey, of your life, you are going to have to confront those dragons. And that's where you're going to have to be so courageous. And I know that a negative mindset can sometimes be so suffocating, but you need to break the outside loops that are causing you to get stuck into these infinite loops, because you can get out of them. But you need to have willpower, and you need to assert yourself. You need to notice that which is around you, that the inputs, what actually your thoughts are saying. This is why for me, I journal every morning. I like to get out the whatever happens to be there, to try and make a space, to try and create a blank canvas, to put the insecurities or the demons or the different voices that are coming in and upsetting me or frustrating me or pulling me down, because it's something we all face, this inner negative conversation. So that is the dragon that you need to slay in order to get to the treasure.
Come on, man. Ah! When I talk about the cave, one of the frustrations that I go through is that when I get very busy with my outside work and then suddenly manage to come in, it's like I've built up my muscles, my technique, and then suddenly I come in and it's like I feel like I've got to start all over again. That's one of my pain points. And you literally like have to build up the calluses on your hands again. I can't see that, but you get these calluses as a guitar player. And so this is one of the things, when you're balancing what you dream of creating with the rest of your life, often is this feeling that you're starting again, and as if you're kind of going back to somewhere you've been before, and then that becomes a preventative, and we stop that from carrying on because we get into this illusory feeling that we are never progressing because we're always having to pick up the thread. But what you have to remember is that all the work you've ever done is knitted into you, it's woven into you, and it does come back, and it's still in there. The journey that you've been on before is still within you. So if you're feeling blocked and you just kind of can't quite get back to it, then just get back in, man. Get into the process. The cave is always most scary before you go back in there and you draw open the curtains and you get back onto it and you start trying to find a little rift. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to work out a little nice melody, little vibe, and put it down the loop station. It's like, okay, simple, but it's clear. It's sort of simple, it's clear, it's clean, it's got a vibe, and it's also expressive of a positive energy, and I like that. So maybe I should try and get a lyric, comes out something with a cave, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Put that over there. Just wrote this morning. It's a nice vibe, isn't it? Tell me to come and out of cave, come out of cave. Come and let you cave, come and let you cave. Jesus, careful, you will cave. Will she sinking and come out again? Maybe not the riff needs change. Come out again. Come out. Absolutely butchering this one. Last thing, you gotta fail over and over. Over and over and over. Oh dear. This is the thing. It's about the failure. Over and over and over and over. And then you get it eventually.
And you must have the courage. It's the call to adventure, which means there is no security, no rules. When you cross the threshold, you are passing into the dark forest, taking a plunge into the sea, embarking upon the night sea journey. It involves passing through clashing rocks, narrow gates or the like, which represent yes and no, the pair of opposites. There will be a moment when the walls of the world seem to open up for a second, and you will get an insight through. Jump then. Go.
So after the psychological drama in the cave, beautiful to come out, and I didn't feel like going in yesterday. I was very resistant. That's why I was thinking about Campbell and the idea of the cave. Been a very long few weeks. Also had a terrible hangover, but just going in there, taking a Saturday evening, going in on a Sunday morning, it was much less about specific results or an outcome. It was about getting back in the process. It feels really good just to chip away, and going into the final quarter of the year now, and I have the sense that I might get this album written. The dream that I had of recording 12 new songs, it's still alive, but there's a lot of work to do. But the important thing is that the ideas are coming. One of the reasons why we're so quick to resist the cave is that we have to go through our bad work to get to our good work. Another manifestation of the dragon is that we have to go through those times where we feel like we have no talent and we're not in the flow, the ideas aren't coming, there's no inspiration, or it's just hard work. And that's the thing, you keep on showing up, you keep on chipping away, and over time, the best of you finds a way to emerge, and you go through those lovely times of joy and enjoying the process as well. So just get back in there, keep going. The dragon is not as scary as it looks. Have a lovely day, guys.